the WNBA Finals, and so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments, and so all I'll say is just, it's obviously...
They made her a record financial offer. They believed that offering $1 million compensation would be sufficient to quell the critics and ensure the league's survival. It was meant to be the definitive arrival of the WNBA and the ink on paper cementation of the new age. However, Caitlin Clark and the Women's National Basketball Players Association, WNBPA, achieved the unimaginable. They declined. They were not only hesitant, they left the table entirely. According to reports, the consequences of that refusal have now claimed the largest victim to yet. The league administration has shockingly informed us that Commissioner Cathy Engelbert is officially out. There was more to the rejection of this new CBA agreement than merely a negotiating strategy. The WNBA's leadership structure has collapsed due to a vote of no confidence. The league misinterpreted the revolution taking place inside their own locker rooms, believing that they could purchase peace with a paycheck. You must examine the recently rejected offer in order to comprehend why the commissioner is allegedly packing her bags and why this particular rejection was the last straw. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 83% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video. According to sources, the league eventually gave in and proposed a plan that would allow elite players to receive basic pay and incentives totaling more than $1 million annually. That seems like a huge victory to the casual fan compared to a few years ago when the maximum income was roughly $200,000. That is a significant increase. The players, headed by the enormous influence of stars like Caitlin Clark, Napheesa Collier, and Breanna Stewart, walked away from what was meant to be the golden ticket that would have preserved the 2026 season and avoided a labor disruption. Why? Because they understood that $1 million is little in comparison to the billions the league is expected to earn. You must examine the maths that the players are examining. Recently, the WNBA signed a landmark media rights agreement worth more than $2 billion over the next 10 years. That is money that transforms. That is the kind of money that modifies wealth between generations. The Women's National Basketball Players Association, WNBPA, saw that the owners were attempting to pull a quick one when the league proposed $1 million wage cap for elite players. While the owners retained the great majority of the potential, they were attempting to lock the players into a set number. The players want more than simply a larger allowance. A piece of the pie is what they want. Revenue sharing is what they want. They want a cut of each jersey sold, each ticket scanned, and each ad that airs. They did more than just reject a contract when they turned down this offer. They disapproved of Cathy Engelbert's whole business strategy. For Cathy Engelbert, such rejection seems to be the last straw. Her reign has been characterized by a frantic attempt to strike a balance between the WNBA's elder guard and the emergence of the new age. She has been balancing on a tight rope for the last 2 years, and she eventually slipped off. You have to go back to the utter pandemonium of the previous season to comprehend why she is allegedly quitting. From beginning to end, it was a PR disaster. It began with the travel problems, as players had to use commercial planes while charter aircraft were only available to a select few. Then came the prioritization rule, which essentially took money out of players' wallets by making them choose between lucrative international contracts and the WNBA. However, the public spotlight caused the true harm. Do you recall the interview that turned things around? Cathy Engelbert was questioned on CNBC about the negative aspects of the increased fan interaction, including racism, internet abuse, and player toxicity. She changed to a corporate robotic response about rivalries and marketing rather than standing up for her players, drawing a clear line in the sand and denouncing the hatred. She likened the circumstances to those of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird in the 1980s. It was a catastrophe. The players were enraged. They had a sense of abandonment. They believed that the commissioner was just interested in using their suffering as a marketing tool to increase interaction. At the time, the Women's National Basketball Players Association, WNBPA, issued a statement questioning Cathy Engelbert's leadership, but she managed to get through it. Because the owners believed she could still provide the financial goods, she managed to endure it. However, she has now failed to provide the financial goods. The proprietors hired Cathy Engelbert from Deotte. She was a numbers person and a corporate shark. It was her responsibility to expand the company. To her credit, the league's value has increased dramatically. A commissioner, however, has two responsibilities: manage the talent and please the owners. She was unable to establish a connection with the athletes who are the foundation of the company. If the players do not respect you, you cannot manage a sports league. It was evident that Cathy Engelbert had lost all authority when the players publicly humiliated the league by rejecting this historic gift. The owners came to the conclusion that the players would not sign while Cathy Engelbert remained in the big chair. She has come to represent the outdated methods: corporate, slow, and disconnected. Reports that Cathy Engelbert has resigned are now flooding the internet. Insiders say this was not a consensual decision. While the league is frantically trying to control the narrative by making ambiguous remarks about continuing conversations, the owners who really manage the league, known as the Board of Governors, are reportedly afraid of a lockout. They are aware of the risks. They are aware that their income will plummet in 2026 without Caitlin Clark, Angel Ree, and the other stars. The WNBA's momentum is brittle. They may never get this kind of attention again. If a labor conflict causes them to miss a season or even a portion of a season, the commissioner must step down if they are the sole thing between a signed agreement and a lockout.